Do you think you'll still be able to command the same level of man at 30 years old as you can command now at 22?
I think I can command that man right now to wait for me when I'm 30.
If I hold off if I want to get with you when you're at your peak and I hold off on that, that quite literally puts you in the leadership role, and I've effectively relinquished my leadership role. And
So do you think I should just drop out of law school and get married and just get kids?
In your particular situation, what I am saying is that find a guy while you're in law school and be prepared. Like, hey, you want to get your degree? I have no problem with women that want to chase a degree and get educated, whatever it may be. That's fine. But that comes second to your man and your family. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with women having a backup plan, but you need to also be realistic and understand that your success isn't going to make you more attractive to the man that you want.
When you cheat on somebody and they don't even react, or you know you can get away with it, it's easier to do it. I was in a relationship where I know the person knew I was cheating on them and they didn't do anything about it, which did two things. One, it made it easier to do. And two, it made me wonder, then why are you even with me?
Right.
Are you with me for the right reasons? You let me do what I'm doing, so why are you even with me?
If any girl is in this room on a date with a man and you think you can change him, you get that idea right out of your silly little head. You cannot change a man. Pick one you like just the way he is. You can't change a man. I'm going to say it twice because women are stubborn. You can't change a man. Why? Because they're in their simplest form. It's like trying to bend a rock. Because men are simple. Why? Because they have outdoor plumbing. And it pulls on their lower spine and creates pressure on their medulla oblongata, making it impossible to hold a complicated and convoluted thought. They're different than we are. Women are complicated. We are. In fact, your relationships will go much better if you just operate under the basic premise that women are crazy and complicated and men are simple and delusional. Period. If you're crazy and you know it, clap your hand. Beast day. Did you see that one? See?
It should come as no surprise that modern Western women have completely lost their way. Once touted as a means of empowerment, feminism now appears to be a Pied Piper leading them astray. They are stumbling through inner chaos, unsure of which way to go, despite society's mixed signals. Take a close look at the Western world, which includes the United States, Canada, Europe, the United Kingdom, and, for good measure, Australia and New Zealand. What are their commonalities? A rapid erosion of moral principles, particularly in relation to how men and women interact with one another. It's a show of roles that aren't clear and unrealistic expectations. Western men are dropping out of dating altogether as a result of the complex gender landscape. Who can blame them when they've had enough of chasing Western women? Western women face a bleak outlook as traditional dating norms fall around them due to this cultural shift. They have the impression that they are looking down at the ground below them, as if they were on the edge of a cliff. In a nutshell, Western women are at a crossroads, caught between shifting gender dynamics, societal expectations, and feminist fantasies. Trying to reconcile their own contradictory convictions and desires with the demands of a changing world puts them in a difficult position. What's next? As they try to navigate this mess, it appears to be quite murky. These women's unrealistic expectations of a man in his late 20s earning six figures are laughable. Realize it. These fictitious demands are nothing more than ill-conceived fantasies that are completely detached from the struggles that people face on a daily basis. Men are tired of chasing after women who have already rejected them, which is why they are losing interest in dating and relationships. Men have been the ones who have put in the most effort to start relationships for generations, only to be met with rejection and opportunism. Take the well-known pattern of hypergamy, in which women look for a richer man to replace their current partner on a constant basis.
If men were that alpha, then they wouldn't be that bothered by this. Doesn't really help us when it comes to boys growing up. And that is one of my worries, that for teenage boys now, they are so terrified of the consequences of putting a foot out of line. It was hard enough being a young teenager, working out how to do dating and all of that, without the terror that if you touch in the wrong place at the wrong time, you may find that your whole life is destroyed.
See, I
and there
like
is
that
far
terror.
too much. Well,
I like that.
As a
I
mother
think
of
that
a
men
teenage
should be
boy, I
frightened.
don't like
Really? I would say that attitude actually is part of the problem too. That's, to me, toxic femininity.
Is that healthy?
Yes, I think it is actually. I think it's better to not have a physical relationship than to have one that could ruin a woman's life.
But then how do they ever start?
Well, don't. If you're not 100%
Don't.
sure,
What are we going
don't.
for?
What are you going to have, a bunch of neutered
Celebrate.
boys who
But
never
it's
had...
so obvious.
We actually do
It's
have that.
like-
Gen Z is having far less sexual relationships
Yes,
than any ever
they are.
before.
It's true.
And
young
hang
people
on.
have stopped having sex.
Guys, don't bring a girl home if you think that possibly she could have a false accusation against you.
So what is a man supposed to do when he has a woman that's not being submissive?
That's what the ecclesiastical authority of the church is for. The marriage to the state doesn't mean anything. It's totally irrelevant, it's nonsensical. There's no groundswell community support. The ecclesiastical authority of your church is supposed to be that groundswell and community support, which helps prevent that from happening. But within a secular framework, they don't have that. And so what ends up happening is these relationships basically get iced. The second a woman sees that, hey, this guy over here makes a little bit more money, he's more handsome, and he's into me, they tend to leave their husbands for that guy or for other arbitrary reasons. Whereas the church would provide massive quantities of shame from the community that they grew up in.
Church would provide shame? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like they would shame her into staying in a marriage?
They would shame her from stepping out for arbitrary reasons, holding her accountable, saying, listen, how can you have these expectations that your husband makes these grandiose sacrifices for you, including taking a bullet, when you won't even submit to it?
So a couple that is married where the wife's not submitting, what advice would you give that man?
That f***ing chick needs to behave and submit. What do you mean?
So yeah, I broke up with a guy, I married another guy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So does that make me a playgirl? I am a playgirl. How?
No, you're not called a playgirl.
1 second.
Let me explain.
1 second, I haven't finished my question. I haven't finished my question.
Fine.
Okay? Point number, firstly, nobody has the right to label any girl or a boy. No, it is my choice to do whatever I want to do. Okay? There is no gender here. There is no gender here. Just because, you have something extra, I have something extra in my body. It's as simple as that. But one more thing, I have something more. I can give birth. You can't. And you talk about
I can give the software to you to give birth.
I was about to say that. 1 second.
I can give the formula of a human being.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that. Oh, I don't need your sperms. You know what? Even dog sperms can give birth to a human child. Do you know that?
Okay.
Biology.
Go marry a dog.
It is a slap in the face to any man who puts in a lot of effort to provide for and make his partner happy, only to watch her leave when someone richer comes along. Men's self-esteem and trust are shattered by this kind of betrayal. Indeed, hypergamy could help ladies. However, it leaves men feeling useless and frustrated. While vocal anti-male feminists scream for more female representation in opulent leadership positions and label everything patriarchal, men are frequently forced to labor under hazardous and exhausting conditions in order to maintain their family's financial stability. However, these same women do not want to work dangerous jobs in which men put their lives at risk. They want to be treated like royalty in relationships, have their needs met in the bedroom, and effortlessly climb the corporate ladder as CEOs, expecting everyone to bow down and worship them without lifting a finger. It is pretty clear that they are all about cherry-picking the benefits. The hard truth is that women crave constant validation and attention, expecting admiration without effort. Men are waking up to the fact that women rely heavily on male labor and demand all perks without exerting effort as Mgtow grows. Women might want to reevaluate their actions in light of numerous tales of betrayal and disloyalty before they find themselves chasing after men who have already moved on. Men are finally realizing how pointless it is to chase after women and are concentrating on the things that really matter: personal development, business ventures, and interests. Men are finding fulfillment in pursuing their own goals and ambitions, rather than attempting to win the favor of women who do not appreciate them. And what's more, when they accomplish these objectives, they realize that the real reward is a sense of accomplishment rather than the approval of a partner who is likely to leave when trouble arises. Self-realization is more than just a trend. It's a necessity. Men are choosing tangible rewards and genuine appreciation over putting their energy into relationships that don't pay off. It's no time like the present ladies recognize the massive commitments men make and perceive that dependability is the groundwork of any fruitful association. In any other case, they are preparing for a rude awakening. Women need to get on board and start valuing loyalty and reciprocity as men continue to place a high value on their interests and personal development. Western women will be left behind in the dust and will struggle to keep up in a world that is rapidly changing without these elements. Now is the time for them to either adjust and appreciate what men have to offer or get used to being left out of the game of love.
When should a man start making 100K?
I say at the ripe age of 18, you are out of your household, and if you have a girlfriend at the time, you should provide for your woman. I am a firm believer in that women should not work and that women's rights suck. So that men should provide for women, and I should not work my life, ever.
I'm gonna say the opposite. I think realistically, a man should make 100K around like 27. I feel like that's a good age. 27 to 33, 35.
Well, let's backpedal a little bit, because what you said was kind of crazy. You don't think that's delusional at all?
I have my Delulu moments, but also I do not want to work. So a man should make 100K by the time that I'm dating him, so I don't have to work ever.
Has the past guys that you've dated made 100K?
The past guys that I have dated have been 2 inches shorter than me and have $0 in their bank account, but now I am aiming high.
Men will continue to sleep with women in their 30s, but they won't consider them for marriage and long-term partnerships as frequently. Every woman seems to believe that she's the exception to this rule. She almost certainly is not. And the thing is that this doesn't technically have to do with attractiveness. Yes, physical attractiveness tends to diminish as a function of time, but many women are still physically attractive in their 30s. However, even for these women, their odds of securing a high-value man decrease with each passing year through their 30s. Why? Well, those attractive women often justifiably believe that they're entitled to high-value men. And these same high-value men enjoy incredible optionality. Many of them aren't going to be interested in settling down anytime soon. And those who are significantly more likely to choose a woman who, all other things being equal, offers a better reproductive opportunity.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.